Just like in Chapter B, you'll see that we are going to add one more thing on each lesson. So we started with one-step inequalities, then we went to two-step, then we went to multi-step, and now we're going to have variables on both sides. So just as a review, we have to combine like terms. If we have a negative n plus 5n, we've got 4n. Here we've got negative 4n minus 3n, which means we took away 7n, plus we have 9. Here, we're just going through equations, not quite inequalities yet. We've got to combine our like terms on each side before we start moving things around. So we've got 4m minus 1 equals 9 plus 14m. We can take away 4m's from each side. We're left with negative 1 equals 9 plus 10m. Take away 9 from each side. I'm going to bring it over here so we have a little bit more room. It's going to be negative 10 equals 10m. Divide by 10. And m equals negative 1. The next one, I'm going to do the keep it, change it, flip it, and combine like terms over here. That's going to give me a negative 2r equals, over here I've got negative 15 minus 3 plus 9, so negative 18 plus 9 is negative 9 minus r. We'll add r to each side, which gives us negative 1r equaling negative 9. Divide by negative 1. And r equals a positive 9. So this is just a review of how to solve equations that have variables on both sides. Now we're going to add in inequalities. So here we've got to get everything on one side. We're treating this as if it were just an equation, but then we're going to graph our answer on the number line. So I'm going to add 4n's to each side, which is going to leave me with negative 10 is greater than negative 4 plus n. Here I'm going to add 4 to each side, and I'm left with negative 6 is greater than n. Now, in this case, it looks like we would shade to the right, but remember, our variable's on a different side right now. You could rewrite this as n is less than negative 6. Notice the point is pointing towards the n here, and the point is pointing towards the n here. So here I'm going to put an open circle on negative 6 and shade to the left because it's less than. Here, if we combine our like terms over here, we have 0n is greater than n plus 7. We subtract n from each side. We get negative n is greater than or equal to 7. Divide by a negative 1. Since we divided by a negative, we have to switch our sign, and we get n is less than or equal to negative 7. So I'm going to put a closed circle at negative 7 and shade to the left. Here, we're first combining our like terms on each side. So here we've got 4n. This would give us 1 minus 15, so minus 14. Is greater than 9n plus negative 4. Okay, so now we are going to, I'm going to subtract 9n from each side, which gives us negative 5n minus 14 is greater than a negative 4. Add 14 to each side. I'm going to bring it over here. We've got negative 5n is greater than 10. Divide by a negative 5. When we divide by a negative, we have to switch our sign. So n is less than negative 2. Open circle at negative 2 and shade to the left. On the level 3 type of questions, you're going to have to distribute first. So you've got 10n minus 20 is greater than or equal to 22 plus 17n. Subtract 10n from each side. You get negative 20 is greater than or equal to 22 plus 7n. Subtract 22 from each side. I'm going to bring it over here. We get negative 42 is greater than or equal to 7n. Divide by 7. we get negative 6 is greater than or equal to n. Remember, we can reverse that, say n is less than or equal to negative 6, put a closed circle at negative 6, and go to the left. Here we've got multiple distributions, so we're going to distribute here. We'll get negative 3m plus 9 plus 3m, which ends up just being 9, because those two are opposites, they equal 0, is less than negative 3m plus 9 plus 3, which is less than negative 3m plus 12. Subtract 12 from each side. Got negative 3 is less than negative 3m. Divide by negative 3. When we divide by a negative, we have to switch our sign. So we've got 1 is greater than m. We could reverse that and say m is less than 1. So I'm going to put an open circle at 1 and shade to the left. We've got to distribute. We've got 1 plus 6x. Remember, the two negatives give us a positive. Minus 7x is less than negative 6x minus 4 plus 6x. Over on the left-hand side, we've got 1 minus 1x is less than, and on the right-hand side, these cancel out because they're 0. So negative 4, subtract 1 from each side, we get negative 1x is less than negative 5. Divide by negative 1, which means we have to switch our sign. So x is greater than 5. Put an open circle at 5 and shade to the right. Here we've got 4n minus 24. Remember, this is a negative 3 we're distributing. Minus 15 minus 12 is greater than or equal to 30n plus 40 plus 6. So we've got 4n. Here we've got negative 39 minus 12. We've got, so minus 51 is greater than or equal to 30n plus 46. I'm going to add 51 to each side, which gives me 4n is greater than or equal to 30n plus 97. Subtract 30n from each side. We've got negative 26n is greater than or equal to 97. Divide by negative 26. Since we divided by a negative, we have to switch our sign to do 97 divided by negative 26, which is approximately negative 3.7-ish. So I'm going to go back to about negative 3.7, make a mark, and shade to the left. 5 times a number increased by 1 is greater than 6 times the number decreased by 17. So here's our inequality. We will combine like terms. So I'm going to start by subtracting 1 from each side. I get 5n is greater than 6n minus 18, minus 6n minus 6n. Negative 1n is greater than negative 18. Divide by negative 1, and n is less than 18. It says, Haley just turned 14. For her birthday, her parents are buying her a new phone. Alpha Phone Company charges $45 a month with 15 cents per text. Beta Phone Company charges $35 with 25 cents per text. For what number of texts is Alpha going to be less than Beta? So here's our inequality, because we want to know when the one on the left is less than the one on the right. So now we're going to go ahead and solve. I'm going to subtract 35 from both sides, which gives me 10 plus 0.15x is less than 0.25x. So we get 10 is less than, I'm going to subtract 0.15x. 0.15x is less than 0.10x, divide by 0.10. And we're going to get 100 is less than x, or x is greater than 100. So as long as she's sending more than 100 texts, then it's cheaper to do the Alpha Phone Company.